Hello everybody, welcome back to another casting practice, so to speak. I just want to start this off by saying the biggest of thank yous. I have seen some wonderful messages on some of the previous videos, and I'm so happy that people are enjoying this. I'm enjoying making these, and I'm just glad that people enjoy watching this. This is just, practice for random stuff. Let's get into the game. We've seen a Aphelios top here at the moment. This is an EU West game, so expect some beautiful plays. We're going to see a mirroring on-side selection. Mundo starting on his blue buff, Echo starting on his red buff. As it's an Aphelios into a Jace. Going to be a very, very, very damaging lane. Aphelios really going to be able to utilize the Calibrim. As Silas looking for an early trade onto the Katarina, looking to take as many autos as he can, but here comes Jace already coming in, but the Severim on Aphelios, keeping him very well alive. Jace might die early here. The Grasp of the Undying just keeping him alive as it's a Senna Pike bot lane into a Sona and Jhin. Very much a late game preferable bot lane. Now, the Pike pick here is really interesting as we see 5 relatively squishy targets as Sona going to be hooked in as the level 2 pops. Jhin coming in as well, going to be landing the W, but slightly misses the Pike, sidestepping, being able to get out of the way. Oh my goodness gracious me, alright, there's a lot of action already going on in top lane as Pike fishing for the hook, going to be missing, hitting wide, the Ignite will land though, will the stun land though, Stun will flash out of the way, as Jhin going to be looking up to pick first blood here, and he will, as Senna will look to try and get the return kill, will end up getting it. Now can Jhin pick up this kill? The reload really going to be holding him back, but Senna with both summoner spells, relatively easy to keep away from that. Silas trading on Katarina on the mid lane. Level 3 pops and as much damage as he can. Katarina with the Grasp of the Undying, utilizing that to keep healing. With the Doran's shield as well, going for a very sustained-based build here early on to just neutralize as much damage as that Silas does. After all, a lot of poke he'll be doing. I'm assuming Second Wind is as one of the runes. Now, Katarina going to be going in. The Ignite will land onto the Silas's. Now just posturing, stopping the Silas from being able to access any of the wave, as Sona is here to keep Cat safe. Silas now landing the Q, very simple. But Mundo's going to be here. Mundo making an appearance after clearing both camps. Blue Smite is what he's going to hide. The Ghost has been popped as he's trying to run down the Sona here. The W will pop and Sona will fall. Can they get the kill on the Katarina? The flash away as Echo is now here. Echo can pick up the kill on the Mundo, but Katarina's going to take it, giving a nice bit golden burst. The flash is perfectly timed as the Silas cannot land the W, and it might be a kill. The red buff will take it. The Echo will secure the feats of Warfarer's Pike now in the mid lane. The bone plating will already be procced. Echo just looking to try and kill this Pike as fast as possible. The stun will land. Pike not going to be able to get anything in terms of a return. Silas now TPing into the mid lane. Mundo also running straight into mid. So far, the skirmish of the skirmish as Katarina will be falling low. Silas will be trying to land as many abilities as possible. Katarina was going to dash out. Pike will now dash in. Misses the stun on both, but the hook will land on Echo as Pike going to fall to Katarina. And now, going in, Katarina will fall to the Silas. It's an absolute bloodbath in mid lane, I must say. Sona going to be trying to land a cheeky kill onto the Silas, and the Aerie might not get it, but the Q will. As now Mundo is all that's left in the mid lane, as so we see an incredible number of kills so far. It's an ARAM game on EU West, and I'm glad to say we're getting to watch this. My goodness gracious me. In terms of kills overall, 3 to blue side, 5 to red side, 2 on that Katarina. Really going to decide that early on, but Jace just solo kills Aphelios. My goodness, this game is absolutely on fire already. 9 kills in 5 minutes. This is what we want to see. This is not your average gold game, ladies and gentlemen. This is a Grandmaster ELO EU West game. This is it at its finest. Jhin gonna land the W in bot lane as at the moment it looks like it's even Steven between the ADCs. Center up a little bit of farm and a level, but now, Pike back in the lane, it's going to be very, very troubling for the Jhin as Katarina and Silas going to be trading on the mid. Katarina are leveled down just due to the fact that, she's had about 17 different residents in her lane for most of this game so far. I'm going to turn on the light here, make my face a little bit more visible as, Jhin having to now flash away. Sona decided to come back home to bot lane. Glad to see the roaming is in order. as the wave pushed underneath the turret. But, oh, Pyke has other ideas. Going to catch the Sonar out with the hook. But no follow-up is intended. Now Senna. With the recent buffs, we've been seeing a lot. I've been seeing a lot of Sennas. I've been trying to like get some statistics. So Silas going to be starting to trade and hits the E, but here comes another trade in bot lane as Mundo will come in. Pyke might be the first to fall as the Ignite goes onto the Jhin. Jhin barrier going to be popped, will pick up the Pyke. Sona running towards the turret. Jhin now just trying to get as much farm as he possibly can. The 4-shot will land onto the center. The Q will land and the Mundo's briefcase will absolutely send Jhin packing down to lower management. He has been promoted to customer as Silas going to be diving under the turret, lands on the Katarina. Will he be able to escape the turret and the Ignite damage? Just barely. Wow, a very, very nice play for the blue side. Gets them back ahead of in terms of the gold lead. As Aphelios looking to try and deal as much damage as he can to the Jays with the Chakrams, the Calibrum, the turret itself. Going to be very, very handy when it comes to clearing these waves quickly. And after an intense fight like that, we look to the builds. We see Mundo with 3 Giants belts. He needs 3 to get around that business waste. As Pyson make an appearance in the top lane, Aphelios not quite sure what is going on here. The hook going to land and the stun will follow as Jace quickly gets him. I saw Jace's name. I thought that was me. Oh my god, he's got the same name as me, TNCR. But he's missing the 1. Jesus, that's just giving me whiplash. What's going on? Echo now going to be doing a full clearing finally on his red buff as Jace going to be getting another turret plate. This Aphelios pick is not turning out the way that they want it as Katarina very far behind in this mid lane. 2 levels down, but they're looking for a fight. Katarina going to start off by getting all of Silas's spells as, oh, this poor Aphelios. The flash going to land as the hook brings him to Jace and Jace says, who's your daddy? And knocks him down again. 0-3 on the Aphelios and 3 kills for the Jace. Sona makes another appearance in mid. It's clear that this is just an ARAM game with a topside 1v1 going on. As Jhin going to be landing a decent amount of damage. The 4-shot and the curtains have called. 1-shot lands. The rest will not hit by the looks of things. But here is another little trade in mid lane as there is 2 Death Lotuses going to be thrown out. But here's Mundo. Mundo is absolutely calling HR. Silas will fall in the midst of it. Echo popping the chrono break. Will Mundo be able to survive and pick up anything here? Or will he be sanctioned? Will take out the Echo and the Katarina will fall as well. Mundo surviving. Like, what is that? That's a tank, ladies and gentlemen. And that's exactly what you want. My goodness. This game is an absolute chaos fest. My goodness. Mundo now just going back to business. So it's 4-1-3 with 3 Giants belts. Each one of those adding to the stack of money he is going to have for his shareholders at the end of the month. As we come to the quiet place, as it's top lane, but that single empowered Q from Jace dealing a solid amount of HP for the Aphelios is red-white. Don't fight is usually the sentiment, but Jace refuses to acknowledge it as Pyke will land a hook onto the Jhin. The Jhin going to be falling to the center. The ult, the Dawning Shadows, will cause Jhin to go back to the fountain as Silas going to be taking a turret shot there cheekily, trying to get some poke damage onto the Katarina. There is so much going on. I am having to try and talk the best that I can. It's probably going to be looking for a cheeky little hook on the Sona, but Sona going to be looking to overstep here. The Ignite will go down. There is not really much that Sona can do to escape. She will just die to the Pyke as here comes Mundo. He is Bateman walking, absolute top-notch, chalking it up to absolute fraud as Echo will flash away and get landed by the Mercury Hammer from Jace. Silas now with the Echo ultimate, the chrono break, able to take as many trades as he wants as Conqueror procs. Does he want to look for the fighters? This is so far turning out to be an absolute bloodbath, and it's the blue team who is very much becoming the team to beat in this game as Katarina now terrified of this Silas, knowing that he can go in at any point he wants and absolutely pop her as the supports will have another visit to mid. It's like a student popping to the corner shop to get another monster as Pyke looking to land the hook will not be able to land it as Katarina goes over the wall. Senna and Jhin having a little bit of a mutual agreement here as here comes the curtain call again. Same spot as last time. Jhin will land 2, will land 3. The shutdown goes over to the man who counts to 4. As Pyke now looking to avenge his fallen comrade, but not going to be able to get anything of value. Going to just be able to get the minion wave. As Aphelios is still being bullied on this top side. The pick is not working out. As the first turret will fall, it is Jace who claims it. Now, Mundo in bot side. Silas throwing his E a little bit slightly off. Will not land the chains, but still in control of this lane. A beautiful wave built up. The potential to move to this Drake, and if not, he will be able to claim some damage onto this turret. Now, the Echo ult has expired. The Chrono Break is not available for Silas. Mundo starting up this Drake down to 3.5k HP. Will get a cheeky reset, but Mundo not intending to let this slip. This is the bonus at the end of the month, and he is claiming every cent of it. Meanwhile, Silas and Katarina clearly at a payphone as Echo will go in. The Chrono Break will be used early as Jace with the Mercury Hammer. The crescendo will land as Silas goes in, landing as many abilities as he can. But here is Mundo. The ult will be popped. His health will go up and Silas will fall. Senna now on the bot side of the fight as Katarina will go in, land all of the abilities onto the Pike, will be on a sliver of HP, and the X will mark the spot as Jin gets 2. The fourth shot brewing. The goes where he pleases will stop Mundo from being stunned, as here is now Senna interested in getting involved in the fighting, but Jin lands the 4th shot, getting her to a quarter of her HP, as again more fighting just leads to more and more blood, as Echo will be looking to steal away Mundo's assets. As you can see, Mundo not a fan of going liquid in this financial market, as Echo looking to fall down low. Mundo will get out on a slither of HP, and Senna will come over to just pick up a kill. Echo clearly not happy with the way his Sona is playing, but let's just see. The hook will land. Pike very, very much in the driver's seat of this fight, as Sona with the Blood Song. An interesting pickup, as Baker will get the pick off onto the Sona. Clearly he is done with this song. He has hit the DJ button on his Spotify Premium app, as his DJ AI is not playing the music he wants. Now, the mid laners transitioning into bot lane, looking to just not interact with the rest of the game as much as possible. As we flash back to Aphelios momentarily, still see that he is 0-4, not even an item on the board, as Mundo will go where he pleases, and I believe Titanic Hydra as the first item, opting to not go for the Heartsteel, as Jin will land 1, will land 2, will land the kill onto Jace. As now it's a battle of the firearms, as we see Senna, Jace, and Jin all very much ahead of their respective teammates. Especially the Aphelios. Pike going to be not being able to land the hook on the Jin just yet. Not very many teammates to be able to back him up, as Mundo, again, going where he pleases. He is buying whatever he wants. That pink suit cannot be beat, as Aphelios might finally be able to get a slight win here, as it is red-white. Is he going to opt to fight? But Pike is here, for Pike is going to decide it for him. The turret blocking the Pike hook, as the flash is very well timed. But Jace not making it easy, and X will mark the spot as Aphelios adds another death to the list, as Silas going to be hit by the crescendo, and the Death Lotus will land every single knife, but here comes the counterpart. Silas going to be taking the crescendo for himself, stealing the beats as he pleases, and getting the pick off onto the Katarina. Not enough damage to be able to deal with it quickly. Mundo choosing to dance on the haters, it seems. He's blocking them out, as Echo Stun going to be coming into mid here. Echo and Jin, can they get some value, as the root will go onto the Pike? Pike might be dead from the 4th shot. It will land as Mundo is now here. The Echo Chrono Break will land as Mundo has dropped to half HP. There is no Grievous Wounds on him at the moment, as the 4th shot will shut down Mundo. He has finally been caught for his financial crimes, and he will go back to the fountain a dead man. Now that could be the turning point. The gold lead has closed to only 1,000 gold. Sona and Echo now looking to rotate into mid lane, as Jin very much interested in claiming this mid lane tower. Silas interested in getting a response in the bot lane, but Katarina is here to potentially stop that. Going to be landing as much damage as she possibly can onto the Silas. Going to be dealing about a third of the HP, as Silas is relatively calm when it comes to that interaction as Jace here hunting for Aphelios. Come here, my son, he claims. Aphelios will use the Severamar to get as much health back as he can as Calarum comes online. The Graviton will get the root, but it looks like a flash will be used and the Mercury Hammer will come down as we see 2 Death Lotuses, but Silas's is prettier as Pyke will land the final auto. But Jace now looking like he might fall to the Echo, and the Sona, the combo, will claim the top laner on the blue side as, oh my goodness, there is more blood in this bath. Whew. Very, very much a beautiful game to try and commentate over, especially when it's just me. Senna now will pick up the mid lane turret, will land the snare onto the Jhin, but does Jhin realise here comes Patrick Bateman through the shadows? Here he arrives and he goes where he pleases, claims the kill. And Mundo might be back on the map. It looks to be the Heartsteel is now coming online. The 2 Giants belt building in to that as we see the items. Aphelios has his collector now. This could stand as a turning point as Mundo will steal away the blue buff, stealing his CEO's rival company from out under their noses using some legal jargon. As Sona will be hit by the hook. The Crescendo will be landing onto the Mundo, but the goes where he pleases will deny that as Echo will use the Chronobek to land straight onto the Mundo. The ult will now pop as the damage comes through onto the Echo. The Echo not going to be able to survive much longer as the Mundo will pick up the kill and Pyke will land the X, killing the Katarina. Jhin and Aphelios, the last 2 members of the red team. As it seems to not calm down, the Mountain Drake is the next up, and this will spell a very, very bad situation for the blue team. However, the curtain shall be called. He lands 2, he lands 4, but it's all for nothing. Not able to steal away that Drake, not able to claim a prize, as he will engage onto the Sylas, being caught out by the Sylas E, having to flash away. The Chronobek will be used, but the root will be landed. The Sona now is backing him up. If he lands the Thor shot, it might be able to kill, and it will land. Sylas falls. As we see, we return again to a sort of a state of calm, almost. As we see Aphelios now with Katarina in the mid lane. Echo might be looking now to potentially catch the Pyke in the act of stealing his vision. Apologies, I'm getting a message from my father. This is unfortunate timing, isn't it? But we are back in the game. There is not much going on, to be honest. This game very much looks to be as even Steven as they get outside. If you don't include the 4,000 gold lead, this game is even Steven. As Mundo opting for the Warmog second. Again, no Heartsteel is very, very confusing, but I'm guessing by the fact that he is already as tanky as can be, he is taking 4 business days to kill. Senna will land the snare onto the Katarina, not really leading to too much, just a little bit of poke damage goes out as it seems like the posturing is for the Atakan. Jace now looking to just easily take this top tier 2. As Aphelios might have the collector, but he doesn't have the damage. Not going to be able to claim anything on the top side as Jace will barely make it out alive. With respect to Aphelios, his damage is decent, but Sylas now looking to take a pick onto the Katarina. The Death Lotus will come through, and the Chrono Break will be stolen in record time, just as the Echo Stun would land. The W lands, the healing comes through, as Echo just looking to do as much damage as he possibly can. Sylas will pick up the kill onto the Echo. It's now just him versus Katarina. Will Katarina be able to have the damage? The Senna ult comes through and lands and kills the Katarina. Saved is the Sylas as the Katarina will fall. Mundo absolutely waterboarding this Jhin at this point, as there is very little he can do. There is not a lot of damage going into him, as his pure health just outshines the Jin's damage. Honestly, while I do like Jhin in this comp, I do think something like you could potentially have a Vayne here. Sona now going to be taken down by the Pyke, as it's as simple as that. Mundo getting a little bit of his benefits. It seems like he's invested in Pyke's company, and he is getting those dividends handed out. But it's not looking amazing. 2-8 Katarina, 0-7 Aphelios, but red-white. Let's see if the fight works out, as the Chakrams landing a plenty, but will it be enough? Aphelios will be able to land. Aphelios, moments away from being able to kill the Silas. A single Q from the Chakram might be able to do it as he's protecting his backside. The Collector, just not enough, as here comes Senna. The attack range is insane and will quickly pick off the Aphelios. 1 and 8, but Senna not looking too good as Echo, the barrier will be pumped, but Echo will get the shutdown as it's now back to being, you know, relatively even minus the 8k gold lead. And the Atakan, you know, they're even minus those factors. As now the red team just looking to try and get any sort of semblance of a lead in this game as Silas looking to just take a fight. But here comes Echo. The stun will land. Can they kill the Silas in time? They absolutely can. The CC proving to be too much as Sonar side-stepping the hook, but the Jace Q will half the HP. The Crescendo lands on 2. Pyke going to be dropping low. Now, these two are the 2 lowest armor characters that Jin can find, so that insane damage from his auto attacks will prove very, very deadly. Now, Mundo, on the other hand, is not the target you want to be facing as the side. Jace has decided that, you know, Jin shouldn't exist anymore, and as for a matter of fact, Mundo seems to be deciding that Sona shouldn't exist anymore, as the damage coming through is immense. The X will not land as Mundo does not want to share the wealth with anyone on his team. And this is looking to be a done deal as we see some items coming through. The Blood Song is an interesting pick for the Sonar. I feel like it has proof value as Echo will just miss the flash onto the Jace. Again, it's very weird seeing his name, seeing how similar it is to mine. Ego as fuck. This is actually me. I'm replaying this game. Pyke now going to be looking to land the hook onto the Aphelios. Not too much he can do as... yeah, I mean, Aphelios will fall, but Mundo will drop low. The Ignite applying the Grievous Wounds as Katarina will be landing in. Will Mundo die? He will fall. The shutdown going over to the Katarina, and the curtains will be called. Sios taking one shot, but it seems all but for naught on this bot side. Silas will live. Senna will live. Jace is still standing. The only victims are the Mundo and the Pyke in exchange for 4. The Aphelios. 0 and 8. I need to ensure, as my father is picking me up in a moment, that I don't overstay my welcome. Now the Drake going to be taken. Very professional, I know. The Drake will be taken, leaving it on Soul Point. The Baron will be spawning in approximately 1 minute and 30 seconds as it's not looking great for the red team. I'm going to be honest. That you know, if you ignore the 8k gold lead, well, I mean, what is it? Is it still 8k? Oh, okay, you know what? It's 7k. It is a 7k gold lead now instead of 8k. You know, we take the small wins. But Silas going to be going in onto the Katarina, going to be landing as many abilities as he can. The red team now sticking as 5, which might fare better. That Pyke, though, is going to be incredibly strong into 5 squishies, as mentioned before. It's easy to see why he's got the most kills. The Senna miss will come forward as Jin going to be hit with the root and the hook, and it's not pretty as well as Jin will fall. The Crescendo will land onto the Echo as the hook follows through. Hook, line, and sinker, but Silas is the one who sinks. As now Pyke will be rooted, he will be chased down as, oh, here comes Jace. Once again, reminding Aphelios who is his daddy, as Jace now on the backline, onto 2 squishy targets. The Crescendo from the Sonar will land, but Mundo goes exactly where he pleases. Jace will fall to the Echo, but Mundo has decided the game is over. As Senna will pick up that last kill. Mundo disregarding the turret damage as you might have to respect it a little bit as he will fall to approximately a quarter of his HP. The first shot will miss, second will land, third will land, and fourth will just hit the Mundo. Mundo laughing it off like it is a tax rebate that he forgot to pay off. And now no one can come after him because he has a checking account in Switzerland. Now, though, it's down to the Baron. The Baron will be a quick start as Mundo not caring whatsoever about the Senna as he will blast cone her back towards the red buff. And now it will be started as all of the red team will be respawning In terms of level difference, 1 in top lane, 2 in jungle, 2 in mid, 2 in ADC. And you know, they're even in bot, even in terms of level in bot, as the Baron will now be picked up. The Baron buff going to be incredibly potent, especially for that mid wave, with the inhib being gone, as Jhin is the one they set their sights on. Sylas will take the E, Jhin will flash away, but here comes Pyke, landing everything, not even needing the hook, as he will fall. It is looking less pretty by the second, as Aphelios just gets absolutely destroyed. The lethality on this Jace not combining very well with the lack of armor on the Aphelios. You know, it had an idea. There was an idea behind the Aphelios. It just, you know, just isn't the right game for it. You know, there's a game where it works. Possibly, you know, not into another range top laner like Jace, or especially like an assassin type top laner, into something like an Ornn. Potentially incredible. The Death Lotus will be picked up by the Sylas as the crescendo will land, but here it comes. The stun is too long as Senna will take down the Sona. Now the 3-level difference between the Senna and the Katarina will be the deciding factor, as the attack range is incredible. Senna now in the 1v1 with the Jhin. 3 levels difference. Jhin not going to be able to take the kill, as it seems like this game is over. Senna now going to be hitting down at the turret, as Jace just gets one for the road, takes down the Katarina. Aphelios the last alive, and Jace and Mundo looking like they're going to want to put one more death on the board, as Mundo will get his 4th death of the game, and Aphelios will end on 12. And that's his first kill. Anyway, GG.